two one-loss teams set to lace it up. This ought to be fun, and we're underway on EA Sports. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. First carry for Christian McCaffrey, who made his first Pro Bowl last year. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Check 56. Come on, Chuck. Let's see what you got. 56 is Mike. 56 is the Mike. Go. Go.
Now a draw play to McCaffrey. And right away, he lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Ready? 56. Monk's 56. Rip left, rip left. Alert 3, alert 3. Alert 3. Watch it.
First carry for Mike Davis, the former Seahawk. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Give him 10 there, good enough for a Panther first down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43. Here's a guy on his 4th franchise in 2 years, Carlos Hyde. The tackle made by Landon Roberts.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. 11 yards and a Panther first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
And it'll be intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And they'll have the football, but deep in their own territory as he's brought down at the 5. Those INTs all sting, but you throw one in the red zone, I think especially as a rookie, maybe it stings a little bit more.
I think what you're saying is they don't all count the same, do they? Right? Interceptions in the red zone that you've given up points now, those are precious. So you have to learn from those and in a hurry.
The second-year man from USC, this is Ronald Jones. And space opened up a bit. He's able to take this up past the 10. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. This is Jones. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Throwing is Brady on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Panthers will take over in terrific field position. On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. They'll set up a throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Shaquille Barrett put that sack by his name in the stat sheet.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a 2nd one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
He'll field this at the 5. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
We're scoreless after 1. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. He'll have a 1st down past the 40. A big run there by Jones. Give him 55 yards on the ground. Terrific run from one of the fastest backs in the game today. A guy who keeps defensive coordinators up at night, no doubt.
Remember when we were meeting with the D coordinator before the game and all he talked about was run fits, making sure our guys were in the right place so there were no creases?
They missed their fits, didn't they?
Yeah, there was no fit there. The only fit was at the end when he threw his headset down after that big run.
They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Working from the gun, it's Brady. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Chris Godwin, the former Penn Stater, should see an increase in action and production in 2019 with Adam Humphries and Deshaun Jackson gone from the team. 842.
And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Chris Godwin, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are on the board first here tonight. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. Then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. 8 yards, first down as they're able to convert.
This is something that we expected to see. McCaffrey used out of the backfield. 107 catches in 2018, the most in one season by an NFL running back.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. From the shotgun to McCaffrey. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
56 to Mike, boys. 56. Check. Come on, baby. Come on, let's go. Check 99. Check 99.
2nd and 4. Letting one go deep for Roberts. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. The Panthers going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down.
45, 45. Mike, 45. Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up, team. Check 45 to Mike. Check 45. All day, baby, all day.
They'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Pilardi now on to punt as he sends this one away. A 40-yard punt, no return, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. The cornerback, it's Logan Ryan who brings him down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 27 yards there, a first down.
First down, Buccaneers.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 33 yards that time. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Shotgun now for Brady. And this is incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. But it'll be second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Jones. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Ronald Jones, his first touchdown of the new season as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And with still more than a minute to go in the half, time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
And 9 at the 26-yard line.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Hey, switch gears, switch gears.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Davis. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
56, right there, 56. 6-man.
He'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for Carolina. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. Fielded at the 33. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Buccaneer offense will be set up well as they take over.
Wait, that 53! 54, Mike. Watch the curl, watch the curl, watch the curl.
Throwing on first down is Brady. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
But one thing's for sure, when you got a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
Going for it all. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again. Brady, he's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. Mike Evans, as the first half is winding down, as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that will get them one closer. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Bucs with the lead, and they'll get the football first as the second half is underway. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. Brady now to throw. Airing this one out for Evans. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
Brady will try again on second down. And this is caught by Evans. 23 yards the pickup there.
I've got to make sure that I don't take Tom Brady's greatness for granted, that we make it routine. How about that throw right there?
Yeah.
Another great completion.
And you know one area where he honed his throwing? He was a catcher in high school. He was actually drafted by the Expos in 1995 in the 18th round.
Wow, that would have been something to see him behind the dish.
Think he gunned down a few guys?
Gunned down a few guys trying to steal second. That would have been fun to watch.
Get ready. 72.
From the 35 on second down, Brady. He finds his tight end, Howard. That's complete. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 13-yard line.
First down.
And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when...
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Logan Ryan. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on second and a couple. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. He'll look to throw. And he's got his target. That's Moore. And all the way down to the the 29.
Let's go, baby.
A big play there for the Panthers. 44 yards. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
Check 26.
McCaffrey stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
That's it, baby.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. Shaquille Barrett, his 2nd sack of the night. I don't care if you're taking it in round 1, you're undrafted, whatever. As a rookie quarterback in this league, you're going to have games where you face adversity like this.
Lessons. All the time you're going to face these lessons. The key for this guy is, will he be able to bounce back in the next one? Because right now, this has not been his game.
And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And that will move the deficit from 20 down to 17. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 37-yard line.
Wait, that wide, 80. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. If you don't get this board, he's in now.
On 2nd and 11 now. Brady. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. 8 yards in the completion, but now they face 3rd down. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Bucs. They've got the football. They also are in front here on the scoreboard as we start the 4th. He's got Evans. Mike Evans. He's going to go. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game, as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Check out.
2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Lavonte David making his presence felt in the backfield. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hadn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense. I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. The Panthers on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Now it's the backup Bridgewater. And the pressure gets to him again.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Take it at the 37. It's a 4-yard return following a punt of 49. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 10 yards there and a Buccaneer 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
In your face.
They'll run with a former Tar Heel, T.J. Logan. He's got a 1st down and more inside the 30. And down to the 19-yard line. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a 1st down. He came right off the bench. That's his 1st carry of the game, and he left an indelible mark on the game.
Did not just bring fresh legs off the bench. He brought a fierce mind as well. He had a lot to prove, didn't he? He thinks he's as good as the guy who's the starter. Wanted to prove it, and boy, did he on that play.
Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps him in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They're in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. I don't want to make a story where there's not one, but he threw the 3 interceptions last week. Looked a little uncomfortable. He looks much more comfortable today.
Yeah, just 1 pick so far and his team leads. So now they can play complementary football, meaning if he takes care of the ball and his offense, well, if they're humming.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Things are rocking easy here in the 4th quarter. They've got to feel pretty good about this one. Actually, they've got to feel excellent. Tough loss in the opener. No way they wanted to go 0-2.
I don't want to read too much into it, but psychologically, is there something much bigger about 0-2 than 0-1?
Oh, without a doubt, and here's the biggest one. Guys like you and me, all the media, are going to talk about, well, you know how hard it is to make the playoffs when you start 0-2, and that starts to work its way through a team.
And now they're working towards 1-1. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
To throw again on 2nd down, Bridgewater. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now the former fourth-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
At the 35-yard line.
Ready? 56, Pittsburgh. Mike's 56. Take me up. Here we go.
Again, it's Ballage. And a short gain down to about the 33. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. Ballage. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down. And they'll try for it here on 4th. Bridgewater and company stay out there.
Check 45 to Mike. Squeeze. 3 buzz.
Bridgewater to throw for it on 4th. And this is going to be incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Buccaneers defense holds and they get the football back. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Check the outs.
Again, it's Jones. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. So fire the cannons. It's a victory here for Tampa Bay. And it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3.